Hello, world. Kara Sue Moore coming in, and I don't know what day it is. I'm going to do probably a new launch shortly and start counting days again. But on just an interim day in my find it, feel it, free it movement. That is still my movement, but I continue to have hope that it's going to expand. I am coming in today on the very last day that I will be inside the Crystal Cavern. So this is the bay behind me that I have been doing all of the streaming from. The only thing it has left in it are these display cases, and I am looking for new homes for those. Refrigerated. They don't have the refrigerator unit with them anymore, though, but they are made to be able to refrigerate. Um, I had thought I could keep recording every day as I tried to clear out of this bay, but the reality of that was not a rational expectation, and that is a significant pattern of mine to be not capable of properly estimating and accounting for resources. Really, mostly it's just the resources aren't available. It's not that I can't properly account for them, it's just I have no money anymore to hire, and I seem to like to overestimate my own efficiency in this world. So I like to think that I can do things in a lot less time than they seem to take me. Either way, find it, feel it, free it. Start to think about what makes you feel free. Explore what makes you feel free. Notice inside your body when you feel free. That's step one of this movement. Continues to be an even more important movement as we live in a more and more tumultuous world with increasing friction and discontent and dis-ease and all of those things we've been saying for a long time. But at least for me, it's at a place right now where it's been there for a long time for me, but I think a lot have joined me that it's at a place where it's hard to make a story right now that the way we're running this world is working well. And at least for me, it's pretty hard to make a story that we can go back to living in little exclusive groups. For a very long time on this planet, we've called those countries because we're now global, and COVID has showed that to us. And really, I think the Second World War showed that to us, but maybe we didn't quite fully understand what that meant. It certainly got us moving, and it certainly got us recognizing that we are not separate from what's happening in other countries or even other continents. So continue to sit with a knowing that to try and come and start from a top-down logical view of what freedom is going to look like is going to be impossible, because we are not in a world where there is any way we could expect various different people sitting in various different continents with various different histories and various different ways of functioning and beliefs and religions. There's no possible way we are all going to see and design the same sense of freedom, no matter how upstanding our goals are, because I also tend to believe that there are not bad people. There are people who do things that are unacceptable. Excuse me, many of them, but not bad people. If we get to the souls, I do believe that if any time someone is given the opportunity to do something that we would call good without concern for consequence to self or consequence to loved ones, I continue to believe that almost every human, maybe every human, will do the right thing. Where the problem comes is when we put people into conflicts, where you're risking not just your own outcome, but other people, that sort of thing. The practice of moving out of here, we're just walking through the whole bay. You guys are kind of joining me for a little bit of a closing out as well. Because as I've been working through the last few days, I have failed now multiple times, and I can create a great story about COVID and restrictions and my own decisions. But at the end of the day, I have failed to successfully make money for myself. I have failed to successfully make money for my family. They have taken a fair amount of resources from me and assets that I think have been quite profitable for them. So hopefully they are not in any way damaged by the fact that I am a member of the family. I don't actually think they are if we did the math, but I have been really sitting with absolute failure and 3 times failure. And now I'm not saying I'm a failure, but I am saying I have failed. So if making money and making profit is the primary goal, then I have failed at that goal. So anyhow, what have the last 2 days been like? Well, I could be lost in that failure, and it would have been very easy to do it. But instead, what I've been focusing on is the sense of freedom that comes with knowing that currently, and my last employee who's in a position where they need to work to support themselves and family, yes, got hired somewhere else yesterday, so that was brilliant for me. So I could have focused this past week on all of the loss that's happening in front of me, but instead I focused on the release of responsibility. It may only be for a short while, but the release of responsibility. I am currently reserving the right to change it, to set the Crystal Cavern up at home on one floor of the house, and I have intention to set the Crystal store itself up on another floor of the house. And I don't know what that's going to be like, but that's the plan. 5 days ago, I didn't even know how I could get things out of here, and it has been an amazing, amazing story of amazing humans coming out and helping, and not one of the people that came and helped and left me with any sort of weird expectation or guilt or ownership on my future or any of that I'm used to going with. Accepting help means that I now have a very direct obligation. I will always help if I have space to help. And so again, just focusing on how different that is from so many other experiences I've had. I have been using all of my own heart math breathing every day, and I do monitor how my physical body is doing on biofeedback monitors, because they will show the stress getting out of control before I will notice it. And last week's been a little rockier than it was the 2 weeks I was broadcasting from the cavern. But I've actually observed biologically that my body has stayed solid and grounded and healthy despite being put through a pretty unbelievable week. Even physically, the ability of my body to physically heal from going home with sore muscles, and literally doing a huge amount of breathing and breath work and energy work to give my body the opportunity to move through more quickly the congestion, in the muscles that comes with working them hard. And even that's held up. It's been incredible. So, more than I ever realized, I do believe we are in a world where we all are going to need to change for us to have hope for a future. I personally am not able to make a change unless I'm morally, ethically on board. So it needs to be logical, it needs to make sense, it needs to work for the all, and it needs to work for me, including me and the all. I can't logically create a freedom out of that, but I can feel it. And on most days, I can trust that if it feels like it's moving me towards that sense of freedom, so be it. So, if all of you would be so kind as to join me now in closing out the first physical Crystal Cavern with a little bit of heart-focused breathing. For me, it's a focus on the feeling, the release of the responsibility day to day, responsibility to the public, responsibility to customers, responsibility to employees. That's my freedom today, is the release of that. And again, so that's what I found, Then I want to feel that coherently through my body, and I do that with breath work. So again, I'm starting to breathe now. I'm actually pulling the breath, really focusing on the back of my diaphragm, pulling down. So that kind of pulls breath in here and down your spine. And it tends to move. You can't see it well on here. And I do. As soon as I'm set up at home, I'll get better at the video part. But if you think about your breath coming right from back here, pull your diaphragm down. You probably can't see well, but pull down from here, directly down, and allow the breath to feel like it literally slides down your back. About a 10-second breath cycle, so 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, is a lovely one to aim for. I'm a little hyped today. 4 is a little better, 5 is stressful. Again, if people will breathe with me, it's actually more powerful when more of us do this together. So I know the feeling in my body, and as I start to feel it sink through everywhere, I simply set the intention that this feeling radiates out on my heart. And radiating. Just going to step outside and sign off from in front. Having had you guys walk through the whole building, I think I did my intro from right here as well. Get over here so we can see it. So again, radiating freedom, saying goodbye to what is hopefully my first version of the Crystal Cavern and Earth Rocks. Spirit of Oneness shelters all of it. At the current moment, the next step is all physically my home. So for the outside world, it'll be a virtual access. And other than that, I have no idea where life is going. If anyone has ideas for me, by all means, reach out. If anyone out there would like to book a walkie-talkie date with me, I do like to walk fairly quickly, and I like to walk for a couple kilometers at a time, but I'm going to have free time. Reach out. Find it, feel it, free it. This is Tara Sumor, coming in from what was the Spirit of Oneness Center for Holistic Changes, home to the Earth Rocks Crystal Store and the Crystal Cavern. I look forward to seeing you all very soon.